All right. Sorry for this all technical problem, no? But okay, I think okay na. Thank you again, Noven, no? So, all right. Now, today's discussion, I hope very quick lang. Module 7, we have communication aids and strategies using tools of technology. Okay, in the previous lessons, we understood, okay, we have understand last midterms why there is a need for humans to communicate, right? Now, what's the purpose of communicating? We've discussed this last midterms, no? In order for those purposes to be achieved, we will be applying now different communication strategies, right? To obtain now, provide, and disseminate information. Okay, we also already know how communication was changed drastically, especially with the aid of technology. So it's important for people now to take into account every aspect of how we are relaying information. And this is now where communication aids and strategies come into play. So I hope please take down some notes because again, we are only using keywords here. No, this is for you to show me, no, your listening skills, listening and comprehension. Okay, and also for me to see if you are really listening and participating in class. Right, next. Oops. Let's define first what is communication aid. No, it is anything that helps an individual to communicate effectively, to be understood fully by listeners or by audience. Also, no, these are a visual support used to make presentations more interesting and effective. Just like what we are using right now, only we're having a bit of a technical problem, but here is your visual aids, diba? Visual support. Otherwise, if I am just talking, no, you will easily get bored. Okay, I know you get bored pa rin naman. Even if you're listening to me, no? I hope not. All right. So communication aid comes in different shapes. Please remember that. Okay. So these are also visual support used to make presentation more interesting, just like what we have said here. No? And please take note, it's not always based on the digital, no? It's not always based on digital, but we have, of course, technology-based communication aids. What are these? What are these? We have now text message, social media, video conferencing. Okay, these are now technology-based communication aids. Although later you will see mga ibang hindi din technology-based na communication aid. Right? But because our topic is focusing on using tools of technology, then we have to now name those technologies that we are using, no, as a communication aid. Okay, text message, social media, you know that already, yung Facebook nyo, yung Twitter, Instagram, right? Video conference, this is what we are doing right now via Zoom, no, or Google Meet. That's a video conference. Okay, we can provide information, we can disseminate information using these tools. Next, we have also email. Okay, we have email. Email basically means electronic mail, right? It's distributed by electronic means. Of course, that's why it's electronic mail. Next, we have video presentation. When we, you know what a video presentation already, right? Uh, just moving pictures, let's say. Now, moving pictures with some audio. Okay, that's a video presentation. PowerPoint, I know you are all familiar with that, right? This is a very common tool we use when it comes to academic presentation. And not only that, also business, companies, when it comes to business presentations, this PowerPoint is also used. No? Next communication aid, we have more communication aid examples. So we've already discussed PowerPoint. We have Prezi. Prezi is a visual storytelling software alternative to traditional slide-based presentation formats. Who among you here have used or have already used Prezi? Who have tried using Prezi? You might want to try that, what do you call that? Software. You might want to try that software because it's a really nice software. Actually, it's a really nice way also to present, to report, not just like compared to the traditional slide base, no. There it's really moving, mas dynamic, mas maganda yung transition. Okay? So you might want to try that, and so that your presentations or your reports, no, oral reports would look professional and prepared, right? Next, we have LinkedIn Slide Share. Okay, you can just go and read that. We have Brain Shark, of course. For us, we're not really using this too. No, we're not. I'm also not familiar, but is it this week or next week? I think next week I will be asking you to do or to make a LinkedIn account. Okay, LinkedIn is very important for work. It's like a work based social media, actually. Okay. So if you haven't yet, you can already start navigating, creating your own LinkedIn account. Last, we have TED.com. Okay, we have watched a couple of speeches already from TED. For those of you who love watching TED, yeah, it's really nice because you learn a lot of ideas. No, it says your ideas worth spreading, right? Next, okay. We've talked about PowerPoint, so here is a quick list of things to remember. Okay, we have here 10-20 rule. What is this 10-20-30 rule? No, make sure you have 10 slides in 20 minutes and font size is 30. These are just some tips or guidelines. You can go a little bit above or a little bit below. It's okay. No, it doesn't have to be always this rule, but generally for you to have a professionally looking PowerPoint, then you have to follow this most often than not. You also have 166 rule. No, that means 6 bullets, one main idea, 6 bullets, and 6 words per bullet. Okay. For those of you who will be having oral reports in the future in your other subjects, you can apply this guideline, right? Just remember your main idea. You have here one main idea, 6 bullets, and 6 words per bullet as much as possible. No? 7-7 rule we have here. It means 7 lines and 7 words only. We have 9 P's. This is very important. What is 9 P's? Prior proper preparation prevents poor performance of the person putting on the presentation. Okay? Medyo maingay. Hold on for a moment. All right, so your meeting will end in 10 minutes. Nako, you have 10 minutes again. Then you have to come back in the Zoom session, huh? I need you. Okay? All right. So again, 9 P's. Prior proper preparation prevents poor performance of the person putting on the presentation. For short, Preparation is key. All right. Mm-hmm. 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 Okay. So, later, so that hindi na i-close ni Noven tong presentation, at the end na lang, no? Because this is already part 2, no? Later, at the end of our discussion, I will let you watch a video about, bad, it's an example of bad presentation. But later, I will explain to you what you will be doing because that will be part of your assignment, right? Now let's proceed to part 2. Okay? We have here the part 2 because this is very much vital and related to your final project, wherein I will be asking you guys to propose a cost-oriented activity. No? You have to present it using the concept of, we have now multimodality. No? So, of course, multimodal texts are also an example of communication aid. Let's not forget that. And since we are doing our online classes, I believe this is more applicable, no, as our final project than, of course, having a live presentation. So, we're going to be doing a multimodal advocacy campaign, right? So during midterms, we have discussed multimodal text, right? And multimodality. What is it again? What is a multimodal text? You can see here a text may be defined as multimodal when it combines two or more communication systems. So pag kinambine na yung two or more communication systems, then it's a multimodal text. Okay? From the word itself, multi is many, modal is modes, so many modes. Please write that down, no? The word itself, multimodal, so modes, many modes. All right. So, mhm, we have here also, no, linguistic, visual, audio, gestural, spatial. Later, I will be also go brushing over this, no, as I open my own screen. Ngayon, because it's not in the PowerPoint. So later, let's brush through this as we review the instructions of your final requirements. Okay. By the way, any questions? Any questions so far? Am I fast? Am I too fast rather? No, it's okay. All right, no questions. So I suppose you are able to understand that. So again, multimodal, combination of two modes or more. When we say textbook, when we have a textbook here that doesn't have picture, no, text lang talaga siya, walang pictures. That is now single modal. Okay, that's the difference. That is now single modal. But if it has pictures, you added a visual mode kasama na ng text, ng linguistic, then it is already multimodal. Okay? So why do we need multimodal text? Again, somehow related to why we need communication aid. This is to also improve our comprehension because I don't know if you're familiar with that concept, no, but or if you know that you are one of them or one of these people who learn in different modes, right? I for one, I tend to learn visually. No, I cannot learn or comprehend easily if you give me something like, let's say a recipe, no, yun na lang. Because that's what I always encounter, no? When I read a recipe book without pictures, without video, it's so hard for me to follow. Okay? I really I'm really having a difficult time, no? As compared to if I just watch it in the YouTube because they're actions, they're visuals, no? Video presentation. And if there's a picture, then I can immediately figure out what to do. So ganon, 'di ba? So this multimodal text came about because of the fact that people learn in different modes, right? Some learn visually, some learn linguistically, right? So I don't know what your learning type is, yeah? But that's for me, no? All right. Another purpose is to increase motivation. Of course, just like what I've said earlier, if I'm just talking here without presentation, without videos in between, then super boring na. Okay. So it's not motivating. Okay. Because first you have to just listen the whole time, no, and you cannot read or look at something. So yeah. All right. We are going to be going over this as well. Linguistic, visual, audio, gestural, spatial. Very fast lang, no? Linguistic examples na lang, we have the books, right? These are the types of multimodal text or modes. So again, linguistic, we have examples are books, newscasts, broadcasts, letter, ebook, no? Emails, text messages, blogging, no? Blogging ha, not vlogging. B, yung B is blogging, like writing, okay? Anything that you read, that's the linguistic, okay? Visual, of course, examples we have films, movies, posters, pictures, okay? You know that. Audio, it doesn't mean it's all music. It can also be the volume, yung pitch, okay? All the factors that includes the audio aspect. All right. Gestural, you have yung gestures nyo, right? Of course, spatial. This one naman is basically how, for example, how brochures are folded, no? It's how you navigate the communication aid, no? Siguro yung outer presentation niya, yung presentation niya to you, no? Okay? For example na lang kanina, 'di ba, how brochures are folded, if it's folded, no, lengthwise, no, or marami ba, nakakalito ba, 'di ba? So that one, physical aspect or physical presentation. Okay. So, as I've said a while ago then, 'di ba? Multimodal text is not always dependent on technology. It's not always technology based. It can also be, no? Later we have here three: digital, live, and transmedia. But let's open a new Zoom session first. Thank you so much, Noven. I will need you again, no? In our next.
In
All right. So I have the control again, I think. Do I have the remote again? So can everyone see the screen of Noven?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. But I think I have the remote control. Why is it? Sorry. I think merong parang naka-cover dito. What is this, Noven? This gray box here. Okay. Thank you so much. All right. Is everyone now back? Okay. All right. So Uh-huh. Going back, as I've said, no, it's not always based on technology or dependent on technology. So we have here three types. No, it can be digital, it can be live, it can be transmedia. Okay, so digital, when we say digital, you can read this, no? Slide presentation, ebooks, blogs, e-posters, web pages, film, video games. Okay, so these are digital. We have here live. Live naman, this is now, for example, a performance in an event. Okay, live face to face. Transmedia, what is transmedia now? When the story is told using a combination of different media, okay? A combination of different media platforms and formats like book, and comic, magazine, film, web series, video game. They're all working to be part of the same story. Then that is now transmedia. Okay? All right. So, next. Just remember, multimodal text are materials presented using different modes and media. Okay, here. We keep on saying mode. What is this mode? Mode now refers to any of the communication system which help us interpret meanings like sounds. Sounds is the audio, graphic material and colors, it's the visual, and spoken or written language is the linguistic. Okay. And again, we've added gestural tsaka spatial. Okay. So again, refers to any of the communication system which help us interpret meanings like sounds, graphic material and colors, and spoken or written language. Okay. Media is the manner of dissemination use. Right? That's media. Media naman is the manner of dissemination used. You have here example, internet, radio, television, newspaper, in magazine, no? Film is disseminated through of course uh television. Could be no internet kasi andyan na yung Netflix, right? So andyan na, we have Netflix platform to disseminate films, right? Okay. So we are going to create now a multimodal advocacy campaign. Remember, the manner by which you will create your multimodal text largely depends now on how you will what? Effectively and creatively, no? Dapat creative. Convey your message through these different modes which you will use in the text. Right? Also, how do these multiple modes work together? Okay, what's happening here? Okay, sorry. How do this, again, yung multiple modes na sinabi natin, how do they come together? How do they work together to convey the story or the advocacy that we intend to communicate? All right. So, again, we have here purpose, subject matter, audience mode. Later, no? This combination of modes should meet these following factors. It depends on these following factors. Purpose, ayan na. What is the purpose of our campaign or our multimodal advocacy campaign? Is it to inform, to inspire? Is it to persuade? Right? Subject matter. This is now the actual text that you will compose. Okay. Audience, of course, for whom is the multimodal advocacy campaign, no? For whom will it be beneficial? Mode naman is it going to be video, via video, live presentation, or poster? But again, for the purpose of, as I've said, because we're online, no, it's going to be in a form of video. Your mode is video. Okay, so nasagutan nyo na yan. right? So, thank you so much for the sharing, no, of the screen, Noven. Let me now close it. So your video production guide, because we'll be making a video for your multimodal advocacy campaign. Now, these are the things that you need to know. No, first you have to solidify your objectives, right? So begin with your ultimate objective for your video content. Decide on SMART video objectives. We already know what SMART is: specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and time bound. Okay, it's the same as when you do your research paper, diba? Ganyan din, research thesis. SMART. Research your audience. We've also reiterated that already, no? Understand your target audience, no? Um, for example, you're making a video about the youth today, no? Ano ba yung common problems of the youth today? What are the things where you find most relatable, no? Yung connected sa'yo. So you have to address that, okay? For the success of your video, okay? But the content of your video should be something that appeals to and engages to the audience. Okay? Of course, because it's connected to them, they're nakaka-relate sila. So yun. Also understand your audience demographics. But it is more than that. You also need to identify the most common problems, as what I have said already. Decide on your core message. After setting your objectives and knowing your audience, you need to know what your audience need to do to make your objectives happen. What do you want them to do? Okay. Think and feel after watching the video. Okay. It should also make an impact to them. Okay. Once you got an answer to this question, yun na yun. Okay. Turn it to something that your audience need to know. No? So yun na yun. That's the core message. Now, this is what you're going to be doing this week. Write a video production brief. Okay, before pre-production, you have to make your video production brief. This will guide you in the whole production process. Ano ba ang meron sa video production brief na to? This should include your video objectives, target audience, what you want your audience to feel, think, and do, your video's core message, and your deadline. Okay? Of course, never mind that. Yung deadline dito, what I mean by that is your schedule. Okay? Schedule nyo na, no? When you are going to shoot, from script writing to taking the video, all of this. Parang timeline nyo yan. Okay? That's your timeline rather than deadline. Because of course, deadline, I'm the one who will set your deadline. Okay? You can start working on it, no? As soon as you can, no? Because you have to submit that next week already. I believe you will be submitting that Thursday. So I will give you as well Wednesday probably, no, as a time for you to do that. Okay? All right. So eto na. Then you can read this. I'm not asking you to, I will not be asking you to make a storyboard. No need for that. Okay. Production, you already know that, right? You can just go ahead and read over this. Any questions so far? There's another assignment, no, that's already posted in your module. Okay, so let's watch this. Done. There. Okay. All right. So your assignment is cite at least 3 wrong ways that the speaker did as part of her giving a bad research presentation. Okay. cite at least 3 wrong ways from this video. Can you hear the audio?
We have Dr. Fisher Katz from MIT who does nanoelectronics.
Can you hear the audio?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Research.
Let's
And
watch
she's
this.
agreed just to give you guys a little bit of a flavor about her research. So will you please very warmly help me welcome Dr. Lorraine Fisher Katz.
So I'm here to talk to you today about a very important topic that affects all of us. Nanoelectronics research initiatives in the CMOS. Oh, wait. So this is not the right. Sorry, I'm very sorry. This really never happened. So let me. So we went. Okay, sorry. I'm sorry. This just really never happened. So let me just. All right, here we go. I like the applause. Okay, so I'm going to talk to you today about nanoelectronics research initiatives beyond the CMOSFET area, and there are a number of people that we wanted to make sure that we acknowledged here. Thanks. Okay. So we wanted to really give them credit. Thank you. All right, so let's just jump right in. So CMOSFET is an optimal electronic switching device. It's shown by the following equations for minimum energy per bit based on switching time and gate density. So this is basically a reiteration of Landauer's principle, which you should know is any logical irreversible manipulation of information, such as the erasure of a bit or merging of two computational paths, must be accompanied by corresponding entropy increase in non-information bearing degrees of freedom. Yeah? Okay. So you guys with me? Good? Yeah.
Actually, I have a question. Can you please explain what MOSFET stands for?
Are you serious? I'm sorry. Okay, so if you don't know what that is, you probably shouldn't be here. But we can talk about it afterwards. So if anybody has that confusion, we can really talk about that later. But I really don't want to take the time to get into those kind of basics right now, okay? All right, thanks. Because otherwise we won't really get through. Okay, so let's get into the nitty gritty here. MOSFETs suffer from very fundamental and unavoidable limitations. At room temperature, the subthreshold swing in a MOSFET is limited to 60 millivolts per deck. And even if these other solutions are successfully implemented, the resultant device still functions based on the same physics. Okay, so basically I think you get the gist of this, and we will move on. My phone here. Oh, here we go. Okay, so consumer demand, right? Consumer demand. If we do not figure out how to overcome these limitations, how are we going to get our devices smaller, better, to make the next... Oh, wait, I'm not going to believe this. Sorry. Sorry, it's important. Okay. Good. All right, date tonight. All right, moving on. This one might be above your head, so we're just going to switch. All right, so let's get into the solutions. We've identified the problem, right? We've identified the problem with existing technologies and understand how emerging technologies and nano devices need to fill that void. Let's look at some of the solutions that are coming down the pipeline. I'm really pleased how this particular graph came out because we've got lots of information that I can fit into one. So we've got switching time here. This is size, switching time, and cost. Keep in mind these are all on a log scale, and energy densities, so that's how these are represented. So color is representing energy density. So the solution, we've got quantum solutions, we have plastics, biologically inspired, and molecular. You don't see that? All right. Good. So that's pretty much summarizes where we are with emerging technologies and summarizes where the limitations and I guess, yeah, so I guess that's pretty much it. All right, thanks. Carolyn, do you have a check?
Yeah, we can send an email to you, okay? Let's thank Dr. Fisher-Cat very much.
Thank you
for
very
coming
much.
over. Thank you. Thank you.
So it's in the mail, right?
In the mail, the check is in the mail.
Wasn't that a great research presentation? I would now like to introduce to you.
All right, so that is now your assignment. Okay. So there you go.